What is up, besties? It's your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. And this time we are looking into, if you've been living under a rock and you didn't hear about this, allegedly, because Justin retracted his story, I suppose, Justin unfollowed Hailey, his wife, his baby mama, on Instagram, and now he's saying that he was hacked, but we know that he unfollowed Usher and a whole bunch of his team, Scooter Braun, his baby mama's father. Feels like baby mama drama. So honestly, I think we all kind of assume that he did it himself. If you watch the video, I'll link it down in the description box. When we looked into why he unfollowed Usher, I also covered why he unfollowed Alec Baldwin. So, and I also covered their relationship. So in this reading, what I'm going to do is figure out if he did actually unfollow Hailey and why that is. So as always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. There are zero facts here. Obviously, just a crazy lady talking to the dead with a deck of cards. It's all good. Also, just to let y'all know, I keep getting y'all to like vote in the post. Don't forget the community poll. Do you guys still want to see the Lily J reading? Do we want to find out what her motivation was? If you live under a rock, that is Ethan Slater's baby mama. Remember, Ariana Grande and Ethan, his baby mama. So if you want to figure out the motivation behind why she wrote that, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I guess we won't do it. So I need to know from you guys. So for today's video, I'm going to take a look, see if he did, which, I mean, I'll tell you if he didn't. But if he was hacked, and if not, why did he unfollow Hailey and then refollow and backtrack? It's feeling a lot like Britney Spears, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of Britney Spears so much. But as always, it's alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And then I'll try to do a little more looking into their relationship as a whole and seeing where they're headed, because I know he's going through a lot with the whole Diddy shit coming out. So we'll just see what we can see. So without further ado, besties, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok if they keep it from being banned. This is always alleged. You can book a private reading with me, thekarmicdf.com. In the description box right now, I'm currently only doing waiting lists, but I only have about 5-ish clients left, and then I will be sending out emails to the people in the wait list. So check your emails and check your spam folders in the upcoming weeks, because I'll be reaching out to you. And also in today's video, so exciting, I have paired up again with one of my favorite crystal companies. So besties, if you guys are interested in authentic crystal bracelets from healthy businesses with integrity that also donate to a good cause, if you're tired of buying bracelets at a smoke shop or on Amazon and they break in 2 months, if you want quality I speak the English. If you want quality crystal bracelets, and I believe they also have necklaces, then I have something in store for you. So depending on where I see you in the timestamps, don't forget that I will link the related videos in the description box, but these are all legit and for entertainment purposes only, besties. Without further ado, a thank you to my sponsor, and let's get into it. All right, besties, before we get into today's video, I am proud to announce that once again, I am teaming up with Otter Spirit. Now, Otter Spirit is a small business, which y'all know me. Let's kill off the corporate conglomerates that don't care about us and invest in people that actually give us quality materials and that are actually small businesses, because that's how we rise as a collective. This company was founded back in just 2020. They are originated in California, and this all started due to an encounter with otters and their love for otters. So I'll unbox these. I have not yet seen them. I like doing it with y'all. I am literally like a kid on Christmas. Like I am that kid that's like, oh my God, like I get way too excited. So they're from Monterey Bay, California. And ever since their wild sea otter encounter, they've been committed to supporting conservation initiatives led by men and women within the region. So before I keep telling you more about them, it also comes with a little card for you, authentic. These are the best crystals I've had so far. Like literally, I still wear them. I wear them every day. And I'm tired of cheap crystals that always break. They tell you how they work. They tell you what mantras to use. Mantras, my apologies. They tell you the intentions that you can use, what zodiac signs best
are suited, what chakras they help with. They even show you how to care for them. And honestly, these boxes are reusable. I don't know if you've seen me do the general messages, but I put them in these boxes because they're really, everything is quality up to and including the boxes. And apparently the otters were nearing extinction. So now due to their efforts, they're gradually recovering. So when you buy these bracelets, oof, look at this pyrite. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so stunning. I'm about to make money. Fuck bitches, get money. Anyway, so every time you purchase one of their bracelets, money goes towards saving the otters. And who doesn't want to save otters? They're cute freaking creatures. I love otters. So I actually signed up for a 3-month deal with them because I love their bracelets. So I'm just going to be a walking poster child for their business. Let's check out the next one. Green jade. Again, look at that. Everything I touch turns to gold. Oh, 2 for prosperity. See, again, the zodiac signs. And I know they also have intention packs and they have zodiac sets. So like if you don't know what crystals you necessarily think would be good for you, they can recommend them. And then you could get the ones that are based on your zodiac sign. Oh my God, look at the green. Are you kidding me? Look at how gorgeous this is. You can't get this off Amazon. Y'all ever buy crystal bracelets on Amazon? They break like 2 months later. The bracelets I've got from Otter Spirit are still strong and standing. No issues here. Oh my God, these are so beautiful. I think I know which one this is. I'm really excited. This one I've been really waiting for. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Oh yeah! Selenite. Especially as a spiritual worker, selenite is really useful to just cleanse the negative energy. And again, zodiac signs, right? Ready to see? Ready to see? It was beautiful on the website. And like I said, they have so many to choose from. So please check them out. You're helping the, oh my God. Are you kidding me? If you like selenite, look at this. Look at the, oh my God. This is so beautiful. So courtesy of my newfound friends at Otter Spirit, I have a discount code for y'all besties. The link to get it at a discounted rate will be in the description box. I will probably also pin it in the comments section. But I mean, you can't deny how beautiful these are. These are not your cheapy, I'm going to have to replace them next month. It literally says authentic AAA and AA grade, depending on which ones you choose. They have a plethora to choose from. I mean, just look at this. Like, it speaks for itself. And then also on top of it, when you wear specific animals, because they imprint the otter there, you also embody their, I can't think, brain is giving up on me. They're spiritual. So like, for instance, the elephant spirit, strong, but also not aggressive. You know what I mean? So I have a bunch of tattoos with animals because I know that works. And now I'm going to have a ton of otters all over me to help me embrace that energy. So like I said, besties, courtesy of your favorite bestie, discount code will be in the description box. Please, oh, please check them out. We love to support our small businesses. They've only been around for a little over 4 years and they're great. The customer service is great. The people are great. So please, do yourself a favor, treat yourself if for Valentine's Day or just because you deserve it, bestie. And now, before I move on to the video, I have a shout out because someone treated me from my Amazon wish list. And I'm so excited because guys, like, listen, age is not anything other than a number unless, you know, the readings we do sometimes. You don't have to be old, you know what I mean? I'm 33 and I have right now currently, I have 3 or 4 stuffed animals on my bed. Well, now I got another one. So fun fact about me is I used to have a little mini rescue. Back when I lived with one of my exes, he worked for Petco. We had a second room where we would rescue animals. He was more of like a reptiles guy and I was more of a rodents person. So like, my favorite pet, even though I can't have one because I have a cat right now, I love rats. They are completely misunderstood pets. They are like little puppies and they actually laugh. They're wonderful pets, highly recommend. But I used to have a bunch of rodents. I had chinchillas. I didn't really have ferrets. I don't like them too much, especially because they would eat other rodents. I had guinea pigs. Hamsters are a little aggressive, but I've saved them too. And one of my favorite animals has always been the capybara because it's like a giant guinea pig and they're so gentle. And I used to go to I love petting zoos, especially back when I used to drink, y'all. I used to go to petting zoos drunk and pet the animals. That was before I was a hot mess. I would just go drinking. I would go on my birthday too. Me and my mom would go. It was so much fun. And so, yeah, I put this on my Amazon wish list because I was like, this is the cutest thing in the world. And I am obsessed. My Netflix, this is my little image that I chose is the capybara because it's just such a cute animal. And oh my God, it's so, yeah. So anyway, the message says, this is definitely a weighted stuffed animal time of year. Couldn't agree more, bestie. I actually just bought a new comfort hoodie, so you'll be seeing some information on that soon. But she said, hope you're doing well, from Danielle. And honestly, y'all know this is my favorite part of the gift. I have a whole bag full of these that I plan on turning into a big collage. So, if you guys ever think about getting me something off my Amazon wish list, don't feel obligated, but please make sure that you do one of these because these are the ones that matter to me the most. So Danielle, thank you so very much. I'm going to snuggle with this little guy all day. He's just so cute. Say hi. What should we name him? Jeffrey just popped into my mind. Jeffrey, he looks like a Jeffrey, right? You tell me, what should I name him, besties? So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. I want to see, because I know people are worried that he's, smoking weed. But here's the thing, right? It's reminding me of the quote, I don't read the Bible, where it's let he who is without sin throw the first stone. If you're going to sit here and shit on someone for smoking weed while having a kid, make sure you're not also a wino because different sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? So I don't really like the hate that he's getting because as someone who has smoked weed, I've done way more damage on alcohol than weed. So we're going to look into him. Did he unfollow Hailey? And if so, why? And we'll do an update on their relationship. And yeah, we'll just find out what's going on with them and if he's okay. I mean, I don't think weed is that big of a deal because you still feel, as someone who used to push down her feelings, weed doesn't really let you do that. It just kind of takes the edge off. But I'm telling you from personal experience, I've been stoned to shit and still crying my eyes out over shit. So I'm not that concerned, but if the cards say otherwise, I'll be the first to tell you I have no problem being wrong. So this is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. All right, so let's get into the cards. As always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're new here, bestie, smash that subscribe button. We would love to have you. I have a whole playlist on just Justin alone. I have a lot of videos that I plan on linking that will relate to this, especially the one I did with why he unfollowed Usher. And look at how messy this is. I feel like they might have had a fight. Yeah, because he unfollowed Hailey's dad, so I think he's kind of slowly unraveling. You know what I keep being drawn to is when Britney finally got the ability to speak up on her shit, and you know how she would post shit and then take it down. She was getting really emotional. I feel like that's kind of what's going on. But let's look at the cards. All alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Henry's going to watch in and protect us. And let's get into this. The World card, wrapping up of cycles. Knight of Cups, there he is. Depletion. So I think he did it. I feel like he did it. The Hermit card means no one else. I think they had a fight. Yeah, this is it happened at home. Quarter life crisis. I'm telling you, because of what's going on with him, I think we're going to see his emotions fluctuate. It's reminding me so much of Britney Spears. How she'd post something about her family, be like, you treated me like shit, and then take it down. I feel like he's finally coming to terms with everything that's happened to him. It's look at how there's is that a man? It kind of looks like a man. It's a man holding another man. It's reminding me of looking at my child in the eye and being I can't believe any of this happened. I would never let this happen to my kid. So this very much piggybacks off the last reading I did. I'll make sure to link it, where it's he's really looking at my home, where I came from. And what it's saying quarter life crisis, isn't he recently 30? He's around 30, right? So he must have just went through his Saturn return. He's figuring out who he is, and that means he's got to take a look at what he's been through. And I think there's resentment towards Hailey. One of you said it on my last readings. I didn't know that this happened, that he apparently had an interview where he said that it was like an arranged marriage. I've been seeing that since I pulled cards on it. That's why I'm like, I don't think y'all should hate on Hailey so much because I think that her father was the brains. So I think he's kind of unraveling where he has days where he blames her, but he's blaming everybody because he's feeling all of his emotions at once. He didn't really accept what happened to him, and the Diddy thing kind of forced him to look at it. And then he had his own child, which if you've had a kid, you know from experience, your child will trigger a lot of things that were dormant. And so having his kid, he's kind of spiraling a little bit. And it's not like, I'm not necessarily all that worried because it reminds me so much of Britney. And even though Britney, seemingly everybody was like, oh my God, she's having a mental breakdown, she was finally acknowledging her emotions. And we live in a society that tells you don't feel your feelings, don't cry, it's weakness. He's finally feeling for the first time. And yeah, well, I do think he is numbing a little bit. He's dealing with big emotions. Imagine, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, imagine if you were in a music industry at like fucking, what was he, like 14, 15, 16, and then you were hurt by your idols, and then they gaslit you, and then you got all this fame, and you could never deal with your emotions, and now you're in your 30s, and you're finally feeling shit that you pushed down. Like, he's going through it. I wonder if he's going to therapy because I feel like he's really starting to accept what's happened to him. But when you don't deal with that and then it all comes out. Yeah, I'm hearing the song, When It All Falls Down. I can't think of the words. He's so oh my God, I'm pretty sure Diddy's in that song. I don't remember. I think it's called When It All Falls Down. It might be Faith Hill. Anyway, if you want to look it up, go for it. But basically, it's alluding to the fact that, like, he wants a lot of alone time right now. He's trying to nurture himself. His child is really making him acknowledge what he's been through. It literally says quarter life crisis on there, which reminds me of, like, he's facing facts and he's really embarrassed. I think with the Judgment card in the reverse to end, I think he had a moment where he was upset, but then he soon realized, like, I think, again, it's like Britney, where it's like I have a moment where I snap and it's like, because I'm not a normal person and everybody's watching my shit, I have to, like, undo what I did because I'm flipping out. You know how you do things when you're really overwhelmed emotionally and then you calm down and then you're like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you ever been really upset with an ex and you're like, you got some liquid courage, or like maybe he was smoking weed and he flipped the fuck out at Hailey and he's like, fuck you, I'm done. But then, like, he soon calmed down and then he's like, shit, like, now I got to pay for the repercussions of my emotions. Yeah, what is that? Oh my God, say it again, Spirit. Well, isn't that the consequences of my own actions? That's what I just heard. So I don't think anyone hacked him. I call bullshit on that. I think he had a moment. Yeah, I'm hearing the song Alicia Keys, Moment of Honesty. Someone's gotta take the lead tonight. Who's it gonna be? Yeah, with Six of Pentacles in the reverse, that song is like about being honest and having like a come to Jesus moment and, like, you know, really feeling your feelings and being vulnerable. And I feel like he's starting for the first time. Look at all this pink energy where it's like, I'm really feeling my feelings. And with this blue here, it's like, I think he might have snapped at some point. I think that they're fighting more than usual because he's got so much emotion now, which he pushed down so much to the point that, like, his heart was shut off. And now it's all flooding out at once. It's reminding me of, like, when you drink a lot real quickly, and then it's like you're throwing up a couple hours later because you did it too quickly. It's like that. It's like too much emotion, too fast. It's like word vomit type of thing. I really feel like they got into a fight, like, especially with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I wouldn't be shocked if it was so bad that he was like, I want a divorce, or even she said that. Like, I think they had a fight. Yeah, he's getting triggered with all of his wounds from everything that's happened. Five of Pentacles. I feel alone. I feel like nobody understands me. I don't know what to do. I'm worried about money. I'm worried about where I'm headed in life. I don't want to face the shit that I've been through. And then notice how there's a little TV in the tent. So it's like the news is covering every little thing I do. So again, it's like he feels like a victim of his life. Like, I keep hearing his song Lonely, which breaks my heart. Like, I feel like that was his cry for help as my throat's starting to go, where he sings, what if you had it all but nobody to call? Maybe then you'd know me. Because I have everything and no one's listening, and that's just fucking lonely. Like, if you don't know that song, I feel like that was his cry for help. That was him telling us what was going on. It's very much like Britney Spears giving Easter eggs. I don't think he meant to have people figure out that he was fighting with Hailey. I just think that he had a moment. You know, sometimes your emotions get the best of you, and he feels alone, and he feels abandoned, and he feels broken, and he feels like he's damaged. Because think about the stigma about men being SA'd. Like, that's hard. And he wants to be a provider and he wants to be a good dad, but he's getting hit with the hardest moments of his life. And it's not like he has solid parents to go to. So, yeah, I'm seeing, what is it, Chris Crocker, where he's like, leave Britney alone, but like change that to Bieber. He's going through it. He's human and he's feeling his feelings for the first time. That's going to be ugly, you know, and the world is watching him. So give him some credit, you know, like, I just feel like it's ugly when you feel your feelings. So just cut him some slack. You know what I mean? I think he's also kind of like, he has moments where he's trying to escape. So like he probably fucks around on his phone, but then it's also like everything. It's almost like I go on Google and no matter what I do, I'm being hit with like, oh, there's another Diddy scandal. Oh, someone's coming out about what I've been through. Oh, I can't escape this. So I think this is why he leans on weed. But I think he knows that like he's walking a fair, what is that? He's like teetering on the line where it's like, I don't want to do anything too damaging because I don't want to go back down that road. But there are days where these emotions are too much. And I feel like Hailey's the type where it's like, and I don't mean to drag her because sometimes people have different ways of expressing love, but I feel like she just doesn't, you know how like with cats, you can't just grab them and be like, I want to love you. You have to let them come to you. I feel like Hailey's the type where it's like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you talking to me? Why won't you get out of the house? That doesn't work for sensitive people. It just doesn't. Some of us need a lot of nurturing. We need to hear like, listen, I'm here when you're ready to talk. Like that's the vibe that he needs. And I think this is why he always looks at Hailey, or not Hailey, Selena, because Selena was the type that was more about the emotions, whereas Hailey's like, let's get out of the house. He doesn't need that right now. He needs someone, he needs a therapist. I really hope he's doing that or trying to, because it's like he's trying to acknowledge his emotions. He's trying to find ways to honor what he's feeling. But at the same time, it's like, when you're that overstimulated from so much emotion, it's like, leave me the fuck alone. And I feel like Hailey just doesn't understand that right now. He doesn't need to be, like, I feel someone breathing down my neck and it's like, can you just give me space to process what I need to process? Do I think she means well? Yeah, but I think she's at this place where she's like, we have a kid now. It's time for you to grow up. I get that. That's not invalid. You know what I mean? But imagine the trauma he's experiencing. I don't feel like she understands that trauma. I feel like, you know, given who her father and her uncle is, I don't think bad things like that really happen to her. So she doesn't get it. And when people don't get what you're going through, they can mean well, but end up doing more harm than good. And so I feel like even though she means well, she ends up doing more harm than good because it's like, get out of the house. Why are you being depressed? It's that masculine energy coming from a woman, which is just re-triggering him because it feels like the same gaslighting that he got from Usher, from Bieber, or from Diddy, from Scooter, allegedly. No facts. Like, I'm in his energy and I'm like so pissed off because it's like, why don't you understand that I'm upset? Why don't you understand what I'm going through? Like, Ten of Swords, like, I am overwhelmed. Like, look at the cloud over his head. It's like, no matter what I do. And I feel like he's been crying a lot. I feel like he might be hiding it from her because it's like, I got to be strong because that's what you're telling me to be. And it's like, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's overwhelmed. He's emotional. He's scarred. But Hailey's just not learning that. Like, I hope, and no offense, like, if somehow this gets to, like, Hailey's team, girl, learn what his love language is and change. Because if you want him to be the father that he needs to be, he needs help. And the approach that she's giving is just not it. It's not it. He needs space sometimes. It's like a cat. Let the cat come to you. If you're going to fucking chase down the cat's going to feel defensive. Give him time and he'll be ready. Ten of Swords means an ending, right? He's accepting what's happening to him for the first time. And he wants to start over. He wants to be happy again. This is why he's leaning back into music. That's why he's trying to find ways to channel it productively. But with Hailey, it's just like, she doesn't get it. And I'm in his energy, but then I'm also trying to understand hers. And she means well, but she's doing more harm than good. So he gets into moments where it's like, fuck you, because he's already so overwhelmed. You ever like, you know what this is reminding me of? You ever have like the worst fucking day of your life? Like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, Spirit, can you give me one of mine? Like, I don't have any off the top of my head. Let's say like you were just broken up with, you found out you were fired, the rent's due, like everything is overwhelmed, and then you buy a coffee, right? You buy your favorite coffee, it's like $7, you put it on the top of your car and it falls over and that feels like the straw that broke your back and you're like, fuck this, I want to die. That's like his energy right now. So he's a ticking time bomb, but he's going through it. So the hate that he's getting, it's just not fair. It's not, because he's in so much overwhelm and he's trying his best, but he doesn't have people around him that care about him. And even the people that do, like Hailey, she's not listening to understand. She's just trying to get him to be a father, which again, I get. But he had a kid and he didn't choose for the Diddy shit to come out at the exact same time. So we got to give him a little bit more credit here. If you were in his shoes, do you honestly think that you would be okay? Do you honestly think you could care for a kid? We understand that parents that are mothers have postpartum depression. Imagine if the worst thing that ever happened in your life was brought up the day you had a child. You think you could handle that? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone, whatever the fuck that saying is. Y'all are giving him way too much shit, and that's not fair. Yeah, and the worst part is he feels like a fucking bad father. He's like, he wants to like shield his kid from it, so he's trying to be strong. He feels like a shitty husband. He's internalizing all of it, and Hailey doesn't get it. So then she's getting angry, and she's getting shitty with him, and then he feels worse, and then he lashes out because he can't win no matter what he does. Everybody has got something to say. He's in the spotlight, right? Remember when Britney first came out and people were giving her so much shit because God forbid she dance in revealing clothing? Her whole life was robbed from her. This is a lot like Britney Spears. His life was robbed from him. Allow him to be a fucking mess right now. Act like they can't afford fucking nannies. Like, dude, it's not that deep. Let him heal. Like, I keep hearing the song Tom Hodel Heal. Like, I'm angry for it. Like, I feel like it's his spirit team because I always call that in. What he's going through, it's not fair. Like, I'm being drawn to the imagery on the deck here where it's like the middle of the avocado. It's like he's getting to the middle of what he's been through. So give him some, like, no one's meaner to him right now than he is. I'll tell you that much with the Emperor in reverse. And I honestly think that because she gets fed up, she might say some fuck shit to him where it's like, you're being a deadbeat dad or you're not being the person I thought you would be. But this isn't the time. He's going through a lot. Like, if she doesn't know the extent of it, then I can understand. But if she does, then she's the bad guy here. I'm sorry. Because this is like PTSD on steroids. This man is if he just came back from the war, no one would be questioning why he's not being a fully amazing father. But because he won't admit to what happened to him because he's not ready to, everybody is expecting him to be a perfect dad. That's not fair. It's not fair. How's their relationship? The Hangman. Yeah, they're at a crossroads right now. I feel like she's like verbally attacking him, but I will say I don't think she knows the extent of what he's going through because he shuts down. I think they'd benefit from like couples therapy, but at the end of the day, she could put two and two together. All the Diddy shit's coming out. She has Google. She has access to this shit. She's got to know to an extent, so she's not being very fair. Does that mean that... Listen, I'm not trying to drag Hailey. Most of the time, I actually defend her. If you've watched my prior videos, I actually defend her a lot because I really feel like this was a long game from her father to get them together. But she's not interested in helping him heal. She's like becoming part of the problem. Yeah, it's almost like she's like, why are you acting this way? Why are you being so emotional? You don't like, she thinks that he's being childish, but what she's not getting is he is so depressed, so stressed, so overwhelmed, so anxious, so overburdened, and it's not his fault. Like, if they can hire some nannies and hire a couples therapist, like, that would be in their best interest. He needs a therapist of his own to deal with his PTSD because he got it, allegedly, no facts here. He has a lot of trauma. He never dealt with it until the Diddy shit came out, and then all of a sudden, all these light bulbs went off at the same time he had a child. He didn't choose this. If that never happened, I think he would have been a really great dad. Because remember the interview about Billie Eilish? I don't fucking know her last name. Where he was like, I wanted to protect her. That is his natural energy, but think about the worst day of your life and then imagine having to take care of a kid. I hear you. I understand. I'm sure some of you are like, I've had horrible days and I had to take care of my kid. Well, were you rich? Did you have nannies? Did you have the access to things that Justin does? Give him some slack. Yeah, he's reminiscing about how he got played in the past. And it's a lot of pain. Yeah, and then with the vape here, it's like, sometimes I need to escape it. It's too much. You, like, as someone who also suffers from CPTSD, sometimes it's too much. Sometimes you have to get out of your head. And sometimes you get so overstimulated that you need to be alone. And Hailey takes everything fucking personally, and it makes it worse. She's not trying. You know how some people listen to respond instead of listen to understand? She listens to respond. And that's the biggest problem that they're facing right now. She's not interested in trying to help him, because in her mind, it's like helping you means getting you out of the house. Helping you means getting your mind off of it, which to an extent works. But if we're not dealing with the root of it, then that's a Band-Aid. And she only knows how to Band-Aid because she hasn't been through something that he's been through. So honestly, I just keep seeing Chris Crocker leave Brittany alone, but switch it to Justin. And I also think that she's worried about the money, which is like, I get it. Because now it's like she's finally waking up and she's like, I got to be a mother. I got to be responsible. That's great. But just because you finally decided to wake up doesn't mean you need to force Justin at the worst moment of his life. You be a queen bee. You be strong. Why don't you hold down the fort? You know how in relationships it should be 50-50, but when one person's going through it, the other person needs to pick up the slack? In her defense, I feel like it's always been more her than him. But right now is the time where he has nothing to give. So she needs to step up or decide that she doesn't want this. It's one or the other. But you got to have empathy for something that's serious. I know that if you guys found out someone you cared about had been through this, you would have an immense amount of empathy. So why can't you have it for him? I know right now Eat the Rich is alive and thriving, and I love that myself. I do. But he's been #MeToo in his childhood. And half of those people are still out and being worshipped. Can you imagine? Like, I know 2 people that Me Too'd me that are still out and thriving. That shit pisses me off. I can't imagine if they were superstars being worshipped. So just like, and this isn't my anger. Like, please understand that, because once I tap into the energy, my brain stops working. So I feel like this is his spirit team coming through, and like, give him a break. Because she's just in this headspace where it's like, we need to be worried about money right now. We need to be worried about our stability right now. And it's like, bro, it's literally hard for me to get out of bed. And I will give her a little bit of credit here where I feel like she's reaching her breaking point. But this should have come long before this. She decided to stick around when he was an F-boy. She decided to stick around when he had nothing to offer. And now that he actually needs support, when he's actually vulnerable and in pain, that's when she decides to wake up, because unfortunately the kid came at the same time the Diddy shit did. That's not his fault. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like y'all need to give him a break. This is just not fair. All right, what's going on with Hailey? She still wants to make it work. I'll give her that much. I think she's also getting paranoid that, like, he might decide to look elsewhere. I mean, he could be looking at, like, Instagram models or stuff, but she's not being what he needs right now. And you could counter-argue, and I hear you, that he wasn't what she needed, but then she should have left. She shouldn't have had a baby with him. You're already this far in. Be the support he needs. You know what I mean? Like, I keep hearing the song, Lean on Me When You're Not Strong. She knows he's going through it, and whether or not he wants to talk about it is his business. That's not her decision to make. Have you ever been SA'd? It's not other people's decision to say when you can talk about it. If I don't want to talk about my assault, then I'm not going to fucking talk about it. We're not entitled to people's most painful stories. We're not. And if he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to. And I think she's getting paranoid and taking it personal and getting pissed off and being like, why aren't you taking care of our kid? And it's like, dude, I'm doing the best I can. I'm running at like 20% efficiency right now. I'm running to music as a means to try and escape what I'm going through. I'm doing the best I can. Do you think you could do this well? Do you think you could make music and function if you were in his shoes? Put yourself in his shoes. What is that other? I keep hearing Bible verses, probably because he's religious, where it's like walk a mile in someone else's shoes before you talk shit, basically. I don't know. I didn't go to church. She's so concerned with how the media She's more concerned with how things look than actually worrying about him. But with therapist on there, I do think that maybe she's said something about therapy. I will give her a little bit of leniency. If he's not going to therapy, I think she might have mentioned you need to go to therapy. But again, I feel like she comes across as aggressive instead of nurturing. And as because he dated someone like Selena, to have someone who's so aggressive, it's triggering the same wounds that he had from people that was gaslighting him to begin with. He's really raw right now. So yeah, he's going to be extra sensitive. So I think he pulled a Britney where he unfollowed her because he was fucking pissed. And then he was like, oh shit, people are going to realize what I did. I got to follow her back. I don't want people to know that things are wrong. But there is definitely trouble in paradise. And it's because she's not willing to understand his point of view because she's reaching her breaking point. And listen, I understand. I get it. But this is just the wrong time. And she's not trying to understand. When you're going through something this difficult, you don't get to decide when he wants to talk about it. It's not up to you. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles here, I just feel like he's doing it at the pace that makes him comfortable. It's a lot. And I think she's getting triggered because it's like, oh, you can work, but you can't worry about your kid. But I almost see him like trying to distance himself because he's afraid that he's going to like pollute his child. He's afraid that he's going to cause damage to his kid. He's emotionally raw. So it's like maybe, and I could see why this would bother her, maybe he's kind of staying away from his kid a little bit because it's like, while I'm going through this, I don't want my child to sense it, to feel it. I don't want to have a moment where I snap and then the kid's crying and it's my fault. He already hates himself so much. He doesn't want to pass it on to his kids. So he might be distancing himself from the child a little bit. But as someone who studied psychology, the first 7 years of your life, you're in a hypnotic state and you're picking up the world around you. So he's actually kind of smart from removing himself from his kid when he's going through it because energy doesn't lie. And if he's holding his child while he's in emotional overwhelm, that's going to transfer to the kid's body. Just like science proves that when a mother's going through something, it transfers into the fetus. So I don't think he knows this consciously. It's just more like, I'm going through it. Let me give my child space. I don't want to put it on my kid. But Hailey's looking at it as, why can't you be a father? Why can't you step up? But he wouldn't have chosen this. If this Diddy shit didn't come out at the exact same time, he would be so much more involved with his kid. He's in love with his child. He loves his kid so much that he's the type where it's like, I want to make sure that I don't scar you. And Hailey just does not get it. She hasn't been through the level of trauma that he has. She doesn't get it. It's like, this is kind of why, like, and you don't have to follow this, but this is why I personally don't like dating people that haven't been through shit because they don't get it. And when they don't get it, it's really hard. It's like oil and water. When I try to explain what I've been through, they're like, oh, what? They don't get it. When you've been lucky enough to have healthy parents and a healthy lifestyle and money and you never had to worry about shit, you can't relate to someone. Think about right now, right? All these celebrities that are just so fucking tone deaf. And now we're starting to see it where it's like, you really don't care about us because they can't. They don't understand. If you're a Nepo baby, how could you possibly understand what it's like to really desperately need to pay your bills, to be $20 short in paying to survive? Justin's going through it. Hailey doesn't get it. Anything else? Should we be worried about his drug use, Spirit Team? Honestly, I feel like it's a crutch while he's going through it. I think weed is something that he knows. It's like, this isn't that dangerous. It's not that bad. While I'm trying to manage, it's better than nothing. I feel like he's just not in a place where he's ready to just go completely sober. But would you be able to? Like, I just keep hearing, like, walk in someone else's shoes. Try to put yourself in his shoes. Would you be okay? I wouldn't. He's so in his head right now. It's like, you know how when, like, you open the door to trauma and then you have I feel like he's having so many flashbacks right now. And it's like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. It's like he's doing, like, a recall of his life. It's like, oh, that was fucked up. Wait a second. Usher did this? Wait, I didn't realize that was fucked up. He said this and then it made me end up in this house. Like, he's going back in time and seeing things through the eyes of someone who's not painting shit gold. And so he's in a lot of fucking pain. But one thing I will say, because he's facing it, I have hope that he's going to get through it. Because when you shove it down, that's when you're in danger of like really leaning on heavy substances. When you're disconnected from your emotions entirely, that's when it's a problem. He's not doing that. He's honoring his feelings, but he's distancing himself from Hailey. He distances himself from his child when he's going through it. Honestly, I feel like that's the right thing to do because kids can pick up on that stuff. And I think because he's a Pisces, he's intuitive, whether he knows it or not. And so he's trying to be alone to deal with his emotions. And Hailey takes that shit personal. Right now, he's stalled because he's going through what he's going through. I'm not that worried about the pot smoking. If we start to see him drinking and partying again, that's when I would be like, okay, now we should probably like repull. But right now, it's more like I just need to kill the, I need something, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you about my personal life to try and make you understand that I'm really not trying to pick sides here. Y'all know that my spouse passed away. I fell apart. I ended up getting back on an anxiety pill because it was becoming too much. I was too overwhelmed. Work was becoming too much. I was really fucking sad and I needed something to help me continue to go on. It's winter now. It's a lot. And I don't know if maybe he's in a winter place too. I don't know where he lives, but it's like, I got to worry about my finances. I got to worry about taking care of my family. I feel like he owes money. You guys said it in my last video too to verify that. And it's like, right now I can barely get out of bed. I'm doing the best I can. I think y'all need to give him some slack. Like, honestly, he's so depressed. He's so depressed. And right now, he could be choosing heroin. He could be drinking until he's numb. He could be like, fuck my kid. Let me go party all day. He's trying. He's trying to channel it through music. I feel like he's probably going to church or leaning on religion to some capacity, but he's fucking depressed. So yeah, he's going to smoke from time to time. I don't think that's the worst case scenario. As someone who was a huge alcoholic, I smoked weed. There's a reason there's medicinal marijuana. While I don't smoke anymore, really, it does make a little bit of a difference. He needs to take the edge off. It's too much. Yeah, everything in his life is crumbling. Can you give him a fucking break? Like, y'all know I don't really ride that hard for Justin. The readings I've done, he is a fuck boy, or he was. He didn't really treat Hailey the best, but she could have left way before she had a fucking kid with him. Now this is the consequences of her actions. This is life. When you choose the guy that didn't choose you, then you might as well deal with the baggage that comes with it. He didn't prepare for this. He didn't know this was going to happen. His life is falling apart. He's trying. This is like, his ego's not even in the way with the Six of Wands in the reverse. This is more like, I can't even worry about my success right now. I'm falling apart. Yeah, I'm hearing Post Malone where it's like, oh, I fall apart. Down to my, whatever the fuck the words are, down to my core. Da-na-na-na-na. He is so depressed. Let him smoke some weed. Let him channel through his music. Leave this man alone. Yeah, he's probably not the greatest husband and father right now, but honestly, he's struggling, and him distancing himself from his kid while he's going through it is smart because then the kid won't feel it. Kids feel that energy. They move through energy until their, conscious mind starts to turn on. So, if you're going through something hard and you need distance from your kid so you can process it, Bestie says, please do that. You deserve that, and your kid won't have to take it. You know how, like, you're going through something, so you let your parent take the kid so that you can focus on that? That's kind of what he's doing. But Hailey takes everything to fucking heart because it's like, I want this perfect family. This is what I signed up for. I feel like in a prior reading, I saw that, like, I feel like she was already at her wit's end, and so it was like, let's have a kid. That's where she fucked up. You know what I mean? So let's hold her accountable, too, here. Because if you were miserable, why'd you have a kid with him? You know what I mean? No one could have prepared for this. This isn't his fault. Leave him alone. Like, I would describe this entire reading as Chris Crocker going on the defense, leave Brittany alone. I think we're going to continue to see him do weird shit like this where he unfollows and follows people, where he does cryptic posts. He's going through it. Anything else, Spirit, before I wrap this up? Yeah, Seven of Swords in the reverse is like, I'm finally seeing the deception for what it is. But I don't want to come out yet. I don't want to speak on it yet. I'm not ready. Imagine being R-worded, allegedly, no facts here, as a child, being put in the public eye, and your abuser is taking photos with their arm around you. You can't escape them, and that was your whole fucking life. Of course he leaned on drugs. Of course he drank. Of course he was struggling. And then Hailey wanted to paint him out to be somebody that he wasn't. And now she's pissed that she got exactly what she knew she was going to get. And for the first time ever, he's actually doing things in a rather healthy way. And she's finally pissed because now she has a kid. So now she woke up. Well, your timing sucks, Hailey. Sorry. He needs therapy. He needs support. He doesn't need to be berated again. He has to go online and see photos of himself as a child being held by the very people that hurt him. Can you imagine? Give him a break. Oh, here she is. Okay, what else? She won't leave him, though. She has moments where she wants to, but it's like, if I could just get through to him. She's repeating all these patterns. It's like, why won't you open up to me? It's like nagging energy. Why won't you open to me? Why won't you talk to me about it? But because you're aggressive, let him come to you. So I think that's why he unfollowed her. He's sick of her shit. And honestly, I'm on his side, and I don't care what anybody else says. Did he fuck up as a relationship in the beginning? Sure. But right now, he needs support, nothing else. We can worry about how he was a deadbeat relationship husband in the future. But you got to give him some slack. I'm sorry. She feels like, especially with this card being about pride and coming out, she expects him to just tell all of his secrets. Yeah, what is that song? I'm gonna give all my secrets away. She wants him to say everything all at once, and it's like, dude, he can barely breathe right now. He's drowning. Just give him time to come to you. You can't dictate when someone gets better. Like, that's where I feel like I need to leave this. It's not your choice to decide when someone deals with their trauma. It's not your choice to decide when someone heals from their trauma. It's not your choice. It's theirs. And how he decides to deal with it, if it's smoking weed and distancing himself so he can process his feelings, I don't see anything wrong with that. If we start to see him party or drink, I'll repull, then maybe he's going down a different path. But right now, he's dealing with his feelings and he wants to be left the fuck alone. I don't see anything wrong with that. He's using music as a real healthy outlet. I don't see anything wrong with that. He's doing the best he can. Back deck energy. He's in his emotions. And the Usher thing's really getting to him. Because it's like, you pretended to be my big brother. You pretended to be my best friend. Now I got to look at these photos and see who you really are. Yeah, I keep hearing the song, I see your true colors shining through. It's like, you were never my friend. You were never my support. This is all hitting him at once. Is it Mars in retrograde? So with Mars in retrograde, that's like all of this inner anger, all of this suppressed anger. I just feel like I keep needing to say he's doing the best he can. Death card is all about a change that he never expected to come. He never expected to deal with this. And look at what the skeleton here. It's like, I'm a shell of myself right now. How can I offer anything to anyone when I'm barely trying to offer something to myself? I'm worried about money. I'm worried about my career. I'm worried about so much. Instead of nagging me, how about you support me and lift me up so that I can actually get through this? Yeah, I think right now he's really focused on nurturing himself. And because Hailey's becoming a mom, which again, not a bad thing, right? You want to be a good mother. But if your husband's going through it, let him heal. And because she's so worried about being the perfect mother, she's not interested in figuring out how to help him. And so she takes it personally. So yeah, I don't know. Y'all can get pissed in the comments. I expect you to at this point. But honestly, I just keep seeing Chris Crocker leave Britney Spears alone. I think we're going to continue to see Justin kind of act like Britney on Instagram, where he has moments. He puts Easter eggs out there. He might delete more posts. He might delete people and then re-add them because he's finally dealing with shit from his youth. He didn't have parents to support him. They were opportunists. He didn't have people around him to support him. The only person he ever had to support him was Selena, and he destroyed it because he doesn't know what healthy love looks like. He's never been given that. That's why he fucked it up with Selena. And that's why he always looks back to her. It's not so much that he wants her. He wants someone to nurture him the way that she did. And while before the child and before the Diddy accusations, I would say he's not deserving of someone like that. But now that he's finally in this raw place where he's trying to heal, we should support him. And then we could deal with the fact if he wants to continue to be a deadbeat dad. But I don't feel like he's a deadbeat dad. I feel like he's distancing himself so that he doesn't put it on his kid. And I think that's a healthy way to move. So I'm going to leave it here. I understand if you guys are mad. That's totally fine. thekarmicdf.com if you want to book a private reading. Obviously, right now, y'all know there's a wait list. And I'm getting through the client reading. So pretty soon I'll be throwing out 10 new emails to 10 people on my wait list. But yeah, I just think Bieber is really just trying to heal. And he needs space to do that. And Hailey does not get it because she hasn't been through that level of trauma. And instead of trying to understand, for her, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. But it's like, girl, that straw should have broke before you had a kid. Now you got 18 plus years with him. You might as well either try to support him or safely walk away. But she's just being mean to him, and he's just already so raw. So he just needs a lot of love and support right now. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok if they don't ban it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Please share this with your friends. Get it out there. He's not as bad as everybody wants them to believe. He's fucking sad, dude. The song Lonely that he wrote, that's his energy right now. And I'm going to leave it there, besties. Have a good day.